All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, beautiful article here. Sarcasm, of course. Ending unemployment insurance state benefits caused an increase in job searches. It's Yahoo Money. I thought it was Yahoo Finance, but yeah, Money Yahoo. At the center of the debate is whether or not continued unemployment benefits are incentivizing people to stay home rather than look for work. Uh, so this has been kind of a narrative that's been pushed heavily. Really, it started last year when the plus up from federal unemployment was $600 a week, and the federal unemployment booster insurance is booster benefit is currently $300 passed in the American Rescue Plan package, and it's going to expire September 6th, and this is $300 on top of the state benefit. So the argument here is that basically people are making a decision instead of going back to the workforce to stay on unemployment. And shoot, I even heard this from another person. Quite frankly, they're insinuating people are just being lazy. They don't want to work. They rather just take the free government money. And then, and what's hurting is a lot of small businesses that can't get the workers that they need to sufficiently function and provide the services or the food or whatever that to the clients. There's been a bit of a spending boom, also part of the American Rescue Package. Unemployment benefits as well as the checks that were sent out. People got money in their pockets. Vaccination rates are increasing. More people are going and gathering and going out. So there's an increased demand, and they're saying they don't have the personnel to meet the demand. Let's see. News of the cut benefit has been growing for the past couple of weeks. And this is basically, 23 states have decided to cut the benefit before September 6th. These benefits included $300. News of the cut benefit has been growing past couple weeks, and Indeed reports that in May, job search activity on their site increased relative to the national trend in the states that announced that they would end the federal unemployment prematurely. They add the state's share of national clicks on job postings was nearly 5% higher on the announcement day relative to a baseline of the last 2 weeks of April. This increase was temporary, vanishing by the eighth day after the announcement had been done. The increase was greatest for marketing, sales, hospitality, and tourism jobs. These sectors were some of the hardest hit during the pandemic, and also the sectors with the business owners not complaining they cannot find enough workers to fill a surplus of vacancies. This could suggest that the unemployment benefit played an influential role in keeping these workers from actively searching for these roles. Search activity also rose for food prep by 3.8% on announcement days of the unemployment termination, another sector desperately seeking new employees and claiming difficulty in finding them. Indeed will continue to track this data through the summer and add that the state's announcement could also been seen as a broader public signal that the availability of jobs and the state of the pandemic. This suggests the data could imply that people see the end to the unemployment benefits as a more definitive end to the pandemic and factors keeping them home. I like to go back. This could suggest that unemployment benefits played an influential role in keeping these workers from actively searching for these roles. I think they're suggesting marketing, sales, hospitality, and tourism jobs. I mean, there are a lot of reasons why people are deciding not to just drop everything and go right back into the workforce. I mean, to me, is a lot of this is just insinuating every single person is like they never had a job before, and then what they had one for a few days before the pandemic hit, and now they're just taking free money. A lot of these people have had jobs for a long time, years, decades. Actually, a lot of the older age people are having a hard time re-entering the workforce. And the fact of the matter is, the component here that was completely left out of this is just like taking this as like, oh, this is just hardcore facts. I took one source, Indeed. Yeah, I think, whatever they say is like the gospel within this. I mean, there's a lot of different factors why people aren't going back. Again, and if you worked at a job for a long time, often people plan their lives around that particular job, that shift. Um, and then, yeah, there's a basic level of just comfort. They want to go back. And a lot of people are just holding out because some jobs said, hey, I may have a position, I may not have a position. So before they commit themselves to some other company and, and wind up leaving after a week because the other job told them, because that makes them look bad, they're just going to hold out. That makes sense. Childcare is a gigantic issue. The complexity of childcare is different for every single family too. So I don't even understand why people like suggest like they just throw that. They're just very dismissive. Like, oh, it is a mother who cannot give this stuff. Sometimes families essentially help other families because childcare is so expensive. So if a disruption in someone else's household can disrupt your household, I mean, these are other issues that should have been addressed decades ago, but they just haven't been addressed. And now there's an expectation of people to just kind of snap back and just stop everything. And some people, yeah, they have a bit of comfort. They're used to the extra money. They don't want to go back to making $8, $9 an hour. They just don't. So they're going to hold out and keep on looking for things that might be a better fit because they just didn't like the last industry they were in. That happened. Some people did like the industry they were in, but they just feel like it is technically a little bit too dangerous for them. So people's way of viewing their world and their financial situation and the dynamics in their lives have completely changed. Just as consumer behavior has changed when it comes to spending habits. Don't understand how that like that's the only thing that's going to change. So and also, yeah, before you go back and take that lower pay, why not take as much money as you can and pay off and put up a buffer because you're used to having more money. When banks take bailouts, when the Federal Reserve was pumping a ton of money, when we were just throwing money at the airlines, everyone called that smart and savvy. Now, when people are trying to basically take a benefit that they paid into, and now they're just taking something back from it because they pay taxes, now it's called mooching. It's totally a different standard. Corporate welfare, A-OK. Individual welfare, mooching. It makes literally no sense. It's total double standard. And the level of, I don't even understand how, like there was to me, a sick comfort, mainly from our media to even spout this stuff and say things like, oh, we think that, well, because this small business here is saying that, I'm willing to pay someone $10 an hour because I was paying them $7.25. So I've increased the wages. And now they still won't come back because they're getting that free money from the government. I'm not offering any benefits. I'm not, they might not even be working here long term. So turn down the 3 months of extra benefits you may receive for a possible 1 month of lower pay here. Anyone would look at that and go, why? Why would I do that? You got, you clap whenever and it's like it's a logical smart thing to do whenever some business like the airlines, for instance, do a bunch of stock buybacks instead of putting money aside, because something bad may happen in the future. And then you called it paycheck support program, not the dole, to bail them out without making them restructure anything. But now that a few businesses, probably a lot of smaller businesses now have to restructure around accessibility to a smaller pool of personnel because people's standards have gotten higher. You say the person's the problem, as opposed to maybe we should incentivize these smaller businesses to or just a lot more companies to hire people permanently and give them great benefits and higher wages. Maybe we should, put more money into that instead of bailing out corporations that made bad decisions. Instead of having the Federal Reserve pump money to buy corporate bonds and give these enormously low interest rates to big companies. Like, maybe we'll redivert our resources towards, apparently, since we now care about small businesses, though we didn't for like the last year. So it is just, it's pretty messed up, and then to eliminate a benefit, that, people have, have come to rely on because, within this pandemic, very few things that the government got right. So they wanted to take that and reassess their lives and make, a more comfortable future for themselves. And basically, because, and let's be real, what's really happening here, because a bunch of businesses don't want to have to raise raises to compete. What the unemployment benefits are, they're basically saying, how about you just pitting the government against their own people, take that away from them so that they can be, desperate enough to come back and take anything I offer them. That's what's happening here. It's just a power dynamic shift, with the assist from, the government and probably the lawmakers a lot of these people voted for, unfortunately. So sucks to see that play out this way, but that's clearly what's taking place.